Please welcome Andy Markus, Chief Data Analytics Officer at AT&T. It's at once a joy to have you here, Andy. And I have probably expressed how highly I regard your deep integration of data science and AI and math and statistics at large into business. I think if you could probably talk about your journey and how you came to that. I would say one of the top data analytics leaders in the world. How did you figure that out? That connecting the business questions and bringing value to business. Probably start off with your journey at the time and as well as at AT&T.
It's a great question. And I just wanted to say, everybody, this is my first trip to India, and I'm so impressed. We're truly doubling down on great data engineering and great data science resources here in India for AT&T. And I've been amazed at how our team has grown and the capabilities that we're seeing, and so it's fantastic. So the question tree really is around value for business, and that's at the forefront of everything we do, right? We always say we're not doing technology for technology's sake. We're doing it to drive value to our customers and to our business, right? So that's the top of mind thing that we always check, that box, right? We always talk about, let's don't recreate a commodity, right? Let's don't chase technology for technology's sake. Let's do things that create true value for our company and our business. I'll kind of wrap it into our journey a little bit at AT&T with the Chief Data Office. When I was brought in, I've been with the company about 2.5, 3 years now. My boss basically said you have 3 big rocks you have to nail, right? You have to, number one, create value for the company. Number 2, data and AI at AT&T, one of the world's largest telecom. It's such an incredible asset, but it really wasn't the way we were operating at AT&T. So make it a great asset for the company. And number 3 was to modernize, our environment. And I saw with Commonwealth Bank, you guys have been around for a long time. AT&T's been around for a long time, 148 years. Sometimes I feel like I encounter a system that's 148 years old. Not true, but I have seen things from the 1980s. But we are modernizing that. We started in earnest 2.5 years ago, and we are almost to the end of that journey, kind of to a really great point. But with the modernization, right, it's really looking at our data and AI tech stack and making sure that, that we're cloud first, we're cloud native, right, that we can do things more effectively and more efficiently, again, driving value for the business than we could in the old environments. That's what we're doing it for. But by the end of this journey, we will be at least 35% more efficient than we were in the environment that I moved into, and that will drive really tens of millions of dollars on an annual basis to the company, given the scale of AT&T. So that's number 1. Number 2, it's really about making data and AI a first-class citizen, right? Creating common architecture that all of AT&T, can leverage and should leverage to do the data and AI work, right? We have, in your chat example, it said 300,000 employees. We've downsized a bit. We're about 175,000 employees. But still, that's a massive group of people, right? How do you get 175,000 people to march, to the same, beat of the drummer? It's very hard. But by will and also by offering really first-class technologies like H2O, right, to our customers across the business, we've seen an incredible adoption of common technology, and we're doing that again to drive business value. If we can communicate across the business in the same language, right? How much more effective can we be? And that's allowed us to democratize and truly federate data and AI across the company, right? Because, you think about, we're data scientists, we're data engineers. We want our subject matter experts in business, to be with us. in our journey, and they are now. And one last thing real quick, you asked about value, let me tie that in. So last year, our CEO asked us to kind of do a state of AI evaluation across AT&T. In that evaluation, what we found is that we were driving about $2.5 billion of value with AI on an annualized basis across AT&T. And yeah, I mean, it's really impressive. And I think the other great thing about it, it ties into the other two things, is that we found about 50% of that value came from our team. And this is a great thing. And about 50% of that value came from other parts of the business. And so that shows the value, right, that we are democratizing this out, that we have the competency across the business. And I think that's only the beginning, right? Things are becoming, exponential in terms of what we can achieve. And we are rolling out generative AI as fast as we can. That I think next time we do that evaluation, which will be here in another month, I think we'll top $3 billion in value. So.
That's amazing. And every time I meet Andy, I get new, and this team, including Mark, and I get a new artifact of how much money was saved, right? How much, every week there's a new use case or dozens of use cases.
Right? It's not just efficiency, but it's revenue as well.
So what does it mean to have, and many of my customers love to know, to make data a first-class asset? What does that mean from your point of view?
I think it really means that AT&T sits on such, massive data. I think we see 590 petabytes of data per day, and it's growing. Like 60% of our volume is video. And hey, we as consumers, right, we're just consuming more and more video traffic, and that curve is this, right? So we consume a ton of data today. How do we take that 590 petabytes a day and make it useful for the business, right? That's what the CDO team is really great at, and that's how I think we lead the charge. We're the North Star for AT&T in helping the business kind of understand how to do that. So making sense of our data. Really, maximizing the reuse of our data, right? If we do things twice, we're just wasting money, right? So let's find the right way to do it. Doesn't matter where we do it in the business, find the right way to do it, and all revolve around that, all adopt that. And I think it's really then, using that data to add value to our customers, right? To make the experience at AT&T better, to provide better coverage, to provide better customer service, to provide better just interaction. Like that's what we're here for. So when we say make AT&T's data a first-class asset, it's all about making it, consumable for our, citizen data scientists and our professional data scientists to drive value for our customers.
If you roll back 4 or 5 or even a few years ago, what kind of conflicts that emerged between technology, data, and business? How did you resolve them that led to this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Anybody I think this will resonate with the room. Anybody that's in technology kind of wants to own their own technology, right? We're technologists. Sometimes we want to, hey, let's try this, right? Let's do this. Sometimes, though, it's not a democracy, right? Sometimes we have to say, we're going to adopt, truly best class tools, right? We're not going to be in an environment where we take our sacrifice there. But we also say that we can, test and try things, but we need to be common in terms of architecture. And that's maybe the biggest challenge, right? Because as technologists, we all kind of want to be individualists, but in terms of making sure data is a first-class asset, we do have to speak in that common language across the company. We have to be able to exchange data and AI in a very efficient way. And so it did take a certain adoption of architecture. And I think the way we were able to deliver that is making sure we had tools that were better than the tools that were in-house, right? Making, everybody's happy to go to a new party if it's a better party. And that's what we served up was a better party.
That's amazing. Let's double click on the 50% of the value not coming from the data science teams. I mean, we've seen this, the evolution of data science and AI centers of excellence, if you will, where first they centralized, then they decentralized. Could you double click on that, how AT&T achieved that?
Yeah, so I mean, through my career, I've worked in both worlds, a centralized world and a decentralized world. For a smaller company, a centralized world can work, right? Where you have fewer customers, fewer clients, fewer use cases. At the scale of AT&T, it's not sustainable. I mean, no matter what a person wants to do, it's not sustainable. It can't drive the value of the business. If you truly democratize it, and you democratize it in a way that everybody is using those best-in-class tools. So it's really about how do we maximize the value of our data for the company. And so, to me at AT&T, it was never a choice to think about centralizing this because it's truly not sustainable to execute the use case. It's like, cloud computing, right? It's like multi-threading. We're multi-threading data and AI, right? How do we multi-thread that so that, the experts across the business can do this to deliver their job. I mean, that's, one of the core principles that we focused on is not just for the data science community, the professional data scientists, the code warriors, right? We have common practices of how we create AI with code, all the way through the AI lifecycle of getting data, finding data, creating your algorithm, deploying your algorithm, monitoring it and governing it, all code driven, right? But the vision that we have and have had is to create a low code, no code version of that, so that not just the professional data scientists, but our citizen data scientists can use that for their business. So smart people in HR, those smart people in non-technical areas, marketing, finance, again, they're technical, but it's technical in a different way, that they can use this legal, that they can use this to really drive value for the business. And we did that, through decentralization, through creating the tools, creating the techniques, creating the governance, to allow, those smart people to do data science, create AI, not just use AI, but to create AI in a way that they can deliver value to their company, to their part of the company, and not go through our team, right? We don't want to be the bottleneck. And in that vision that we have, hey, a professional data scientist, and again, speaking to the room, someone that's skilled, both in the academics, the theory, the practice of true data science, you guys are unicorns, right? There aren't many of you out there, and there aren't many being created. So we have to democratize that. We have to bring in new talent. How do we do that, right? We do that by, democratizing this, by making the citizen data science capable of doing it in a responsible way. And in our vision, we think we can grow the people at AT&T that are creating AI by 5x in 3 years. And that was pre-generative AI. So I'd love to talk about that too. We're doing some incredible things there.
It's a great segue. Make AI, right? Not just consume it. So what is, I know you're working very closely with several of the leaders in the space as well. What ideas and what kind of the directions are you thinking of generative AI at AT&T? And I think we'll hear more of that later as well.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody that you talk with. I mean, I loved your version of H2O. It was wonderful. But what I would say about this is that when GPT-3 came out in November, right? It was an amazing step function change in language analytics, right? Both the foundational model and the super app, right, of Chat GPT around it. My view of this is we think about things that have changed business. You can kind of go back and you say, well, the iPhone was a really big event. And yes, the iPhone created business opportunities, and it created the consumer experience, and it created, hey, for AT&T, it was a great business opportunity to sell smartphones. But I think you have to go back, honestly, to the 80s and the 90s to find, something as disruptive in business, how we operate as a business, as what generative AI will be soon. And what I mean by that, and I lived it, I'm not young, right? So back when I had hair, I lived this, right? the advent of bringing the personal computer into the workplace and not, living off of a, monolithic, mainframe, of bringing in the killer app of a word processor or a spreadsheet. This changed the way people worked across business, across the globe, right? Instead of having armies of accountants, right? You were quickly able to get things done faster and easier. Instead of having somebody to help with delivering your communication or creating your communication, you're able to do it yourself. And the internet, is part of this too, but generative AI is going to change everything we do. I think you have to go back to, as a leadership team, I'm asking our team to watch and read these disruptive periods of technology. We have a great one that we just watched called Triumph of the Nerds. Not Revenge of the Nerds, but Triumph of the Nerds. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But I think there's so much we can learn of how generative AI is going to change the way we work today. And so what I mean by that, and it kind of goes to that, basically bringing the citizen data scientists forward, is this going to have more impact for non-technical areas, groups we think about as non-technical areas, as technical areas? Yeah, we'll be able to code with it, but think about the legal profession, think about the finance profession, think about the HR profession. This is going to bring AI into the everyday, every minute, workspace. It's going to allow us to be so much more productive and efficient in ways we haven't thought of before. And I'll tell you, at AT&T, it became really important for us to create, our own environment. Hey, we talk about OpenAI. It's only one of the generative AI services. We have kind of an orchestration layer on top of it. We leverage the best-in-class generative AI for the given use case. In some cases, it's OpenAI. In some cases, it's maybe NVIDIA. In some cases, it may be other tools. Love to plug in H2O to that.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's really delivering value for our company, but it's protecting our IP. That's the most important thing too, right? Is that everybody saw what happened with Samsung 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago, Samsung is using OpenAI in a way that their IP wasn't protected, and their IP became public domain. In our installation of this, our IP is protected, it's safe and secure, but we're also making it smart with AT&T knowledge. And we're doing it in a way, like you said, the prompt engineering skills, where we've come so fast, so far in how to prompt it, how to vet it, and hallucination rates are really minimal. So it's a game changer for AT&T.
I think protecting your data, protecting your models, protecting your algorithms is protecting your IP and the brand, right? And so I think we think that our vision for democratizing GPTs is to make sure our customers own their code, own their algorithms, own their models, and improve them and make them more transparent for themselves and for their communities. I think as long as our vision is executed, there'll be a democratization in the space. So I'm super excited, and I think this is the typical multimodals are right there on the corner, speech-based large language models. So they're super. AT&T is the largest data for speech, so we're interested to use it to improve your customer service in other places. So we're super keen with the partnership. What brings you to India? And obviously, we're so privileged to have you at H2O World. And what is your vision for AT&T in India? AT&T is historically thought as an American telco company and telegraph company. What is exciting for both the NFC friends here as well?
Yeah, so it's another good question. So I mentioned that data scientists are unicorns. India has a lot of unicorns in data science, right? So we want to, we have a real need for more professional data scientists, and I think this is an incredible, hotbed for data science talent, and so that's a key reason that we're here. And we just, we love the community, the technology, the way that we're kind of thinking about our Indian-based employees as being, connected to our U.S.-based employees, and just it gives us more capacity, right? I mean, we were so excited about what we're doing. We're hiring like crazy, right? We're doubling our staff in India. Prince Paul Raj here in the front. Prince will talk in a second, but Prince is one of our, he's U.S. based. Prince is one of our rock stars in the U.S. and he'll talk about what we're doing with fraud and the Skynet of AI models we have over our fraud net, over our customers and our company to protect our customers and company from fraud. He's been great in that in so many other different areas. Prince was the MongoDB Developer of the Year last year. Prince, we wanted Prince to come and really, attract that rock star, superstar talent in India that we have in the States, and allow us to have access to this incredible, talent pool that exists in India. So we've been so pleased with, the reception we've had here in Bangalore and Hyderabad and everywhere else we visited. So it's super exciting.
This is great. I think the world is converging into a small village where we can take the best minds to solve the hardest problems that face humanity. I think that the last, which we were hosted by AT&T in Dallas for our H2O.ai, I posed a question to you on how are you using AI for good, and you had a fantastic answer.
Yeah. So you showed one, right? So that's a really great use case. AT&T has a really big commitment for the climate and for having being good stewards of the planet. And in so many different ways, we're using AI to reduce our energy consumption. We're using AI to plan better, to help others plan better for natural disasters. I think AI not only is it foundational for how we run the company, but it's foundational for how we interact with our customers. And our customers are not just consumers; our customers are businesses as well. And so we help them be good stewards as well, be more efficient as well, using AI.
Fantastic. What someone's just getting into becoming head of data science and decision sciences, what advice would you give them as they think about trying to transform a large organization?
Yeah, it's another good question. I mean, I think you really have to understand the business. You have to understand what the business needs, right? A classic thing is this, and you can ask GPT this because it will give you a great answer. What is the difference between business strategy and data strategy? So often, strategy teams trip over that, and what they'll say is, "Hey, Andy, or hey, CEO, I want you to basically do this for the business." And so the real marriage, right, is the marriage of business strategy and data strategy. The data strategy, and inclusive of AI, is having the capabilities, and the foresight to help the business. But the business sets the vision and the objectives. And to me, that's the marriage, right? Is to make sure we're properly aligned with our business partners, that we are true partners because, our business partners are so smart. They know their subject area. We just bring, our knowledge of data and AI to the table. And then we, share, right? And so that partnership, I think, is what creates the true value. And that's the thing that I've always used in my career, is to really try to establish that partnership. That it's not, I always use this, and we do it with our team. We is one of the strongest words that we have, right? And when we say we, it's not just we as our team, but we as our partners, we as our company. We're in this together, so we're not trying to take the credit. We're at the table to help them solve problems, and solving those problems will both, benefit from that. So I think partnership and having that we mindset is super important in building that, that partnership that you need to make AI and data the true fabric of a company.
It's an ecosystem. Thinking.
Yeah. Thanks, Shri.
What an incredible kind of culture, that data culture and AI first culture that you've grown and built. the organization, such a large organization as well over the years. So super. It's often lost on folks that AT&T is where the Bell Labs is where Shannon came up with information theory, or language C was invented, or R, or which was
statistics with John Tukey, right? And all of his books, right? And that, yes.
Our first H2O at Tukey Stadium, Tukey Stage.
Yes.
Tukey Stage. So he's seen one of the interesting Tukey quote was an approximate answer to a good question is a fair bit more valuable than an accurate answer to the wrong question.
It's a good quote.
We used that in our fundraising slide. So I was going to ask, what kind of fun stuff have you done over the last, since your first trip to India? Anything that's, I'm sure it is like a multi-dimensional force of signal. What are there anything that fun you want to share with us?
Been on a tour. So Markus and friends here are with me. They've been on the tour with me. But we flew into Mumbai. We spent some time in Pune. We went to Delhi. We went to Agra, and then we went to Hyderabad, and now we're here in Bangalore. So we've done a very quick tour of India, and just the warmth of the people, the warmth of the hospitality has been fantastic everywhere we've gone. Seeing the special kind of things that each city brings is very interesting. Of course, we got to see the Taj Mahal, but other great attractions as well. But I think the people, right? The people have been the most fascinating, and it's been the most welcoming thing that we've had. It's been awesome.
India is rich in humanity. Right? It's a very rich nation in that sense. The people make the country really incredible nation. So I'm glad. Hope to see you more here, and of course see you more back in Atlanta and Plano. But it's just a dream come true to see both two of my favorite companies here together, and hopefully you'll spend some time with Commonwealth Bank as well and other customers. But thank you so much for being with us and sharing wisdom as always. It's a joy hosting you here on Fireside. I hope to do more of these. And in my view, one of the top chief data analytics officers or head of data analytics and AI, one of the strongest business leaders in the world. So thank you for coming to India and sharing your wisdom.
Thanks, Sherry. Thanks for having me.